Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
And how is everyone? Kamusta kayo?
Doing good. Welcome. Nice to
Good.
see you guys again.
Yes, buti na lang nagkasama-sama
Hello.
ulit tayo. Na-miss ko kayo
Yeah.
actually. May mga nangyayari.
Yes.
Yes. And,
It's nice to be
Uh,
back in Cali.
kamusta naman ang inyong weekend? I'm trying to find.
it's good.
Very
It was
good. Nice to
busy
hear from
earlier.
Ayan. And Sky,
Yes.
can you introduce to everyone our topic for today?
So, today, welcome to the show, guys. So, again, my name is Sky, and we have Julie and Pau with me, and we'll be talking about breaking the stereotypes and cannabis usage in the 21st century. Yes.
21 ngayon eh. So, ibang-iba na talaga yung mundo ng cannabis dito sa atin, 'di ba? Lalo na sa California, ang tagal na rin nating naging legal for that aspect, recreational and medical, yes.
Yes, truly times have changed. Iba na talaga, iba na talaga ang cannabis. It's an industry now. So it's
Mhm.
about, money and, people are actually earning from it. People are benefiting from it. So it's actually a good time right now. But again,
Uh-huh.
we have stereotypes
Yes.
of stoners. So it's just, people who smoke weed are tagged as stoners. Lagi daw tayong stoned. So, lagi tayong high, or that's what even my own mom thinks. And ba yan? High lang yan. That's just for the use of being high. So there's still a lot of misconception
Yes.
in society, even our own families, on cannabis. How about you guys? Have you talked to your family, or how does your friends feel about cannabis? What you hear about it?
Well,
What can you say about it?
Um,
ikaw, Paula, how you first?
Sige. Well, yung first impression ng mommy ko with cannabis is, alam mo yun, nisip niya na addict, stoners, yung mga lahat na negative connotations of someone who's using cannabis. But then, ako, sabi ko, no, ma, that's not true. And then
Yeah.
and then she asked me, why do you know all these things? Well, where are you getting your information from? Are you smoking? So, all those questions, like she's like stabbing me with all these questions. And I was like, no, it's because this, I have friends in theater who are,
Mhm.
or I have friends in the industry who are using cannabis, and they're using it for a purpose, which is why they need to use it. So yun, inexplain ko yung medical benefits sa kanya.
Naintindihan niya naman. Maging
Oo.
open-minded naman yun.
So ngayon, open-minded na siya.
Yes. Kailangan rin kasi talagang ma-explain lang sa mga tao and for them to be, parang open-minded na tatanggapin na nila yung new facts right now.
Mm.
Oo.
That's right.
Mm.
So yeah, we have a lot of stereotypes with stoners being number one, lazy, like tamad.
Oo.
Mm.
So, may sariling mundo.
Or wala daw
Yeah.
mapupuntahan yung buhay, ganyan.
Exactly.
Addict. Yun yung stereotype na actually kahit sa Philippines prominent pa rin yung stereotype na yan that it really needs
Oo.
to be broken kasi hindi po totoo yun.
Tsaka yung parang tawa lang daw ng tawa, wala naman daw mangyayari. Nakaganyan. Sabi ko, hindi naman.
Lasing ba yan? Lasing yata. So yeah, parang there's still a lot of negative connotations with they are tagged with people who
Yeah.
use cannabis.
Illegal
And
users, yes, per se.
yeah, and we want to break the cycle. And for me, in all honesty, the best way to advertise is in my own self.
Yeah.
It's I'm always attain excellency. I think that's the number one thing. Kasi nga parang stoners are always looked down upon as non-achieve people who don't achieve anything, people who never amount to anything. So, knowing, I mean, a handful of my coworkers know that I consume cannabis
Yeah.
for recreational and medical use or whatever. It's none of their business, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And that's why I have to show that despite my use, I am always on top of my game. When I'm at work, I'm 100% present. I show that I am serious about my job, and I'm very interactive, and I'm very present,
Yes.
And I think that's the only way to show people and break the stereotype is showing yourself as
Yeah. It should
the
start with
billboard
you
there.
naman talaga, or with ourselves. It should start with us. We should be an example also.
Mm-hmm.
Na there is such a thing as responsible cannabis users, na talagang yung mga tao dito, like, people probably yung iba would look at me and say, "Ay, hindi siya mukhang nagso-smoke up." Pero ang tagal ko na pong nagso-smoke up, ang lakas ko pong mag-smoke up, araw-araw po ako nagso-smoke up, 'di ba?
Yeah.
The only time hindi ako nagso-smoke up sa work ko kasi iba yun, eh. Pero every time wala, off day, nagso-smoke up ako. Like, every day, all day, if I can, like, it's not like, addicted, it's not like I'm addicted to it. If there's none, okay lang din ako, in all honesty. But the thing is, I really show responsibility pagdating sa mga tasks ko sa work, sa bahay, sa chores ko, and all that. And, dun na yung makikita ko, siguro nasabi niya yun kasi naniniwala siya sa mga stereotypes, 'di ba? And there are a lot of
Yeah.
people still blinded by the stereotype, which is really crazy sometimes, na parang, like, "Uy, ano ba, gising." It's not that.
Uh-huh.
Oo. Yeah.
Kasi sometimes rin, yung brain natin, that's how it, ganun kasi yung, ano eh, parang, yung pag-control ng,
Program,
yung kung how our brain works. Yung parang kung paano
conditioned, how it
natin
was conditioned.
i-categorize yung mga nakikita natin. 'Di ba? So parang dahil rin sa media, dahil rin sa
Mhm.
mga nagagawang stories, sa movies, yung mga ganyan.
Exactly.
Kaya doon, tapos yung mga people na hindi naman talaga exposed sa real life experience,
Yeah.
nakukuha nila yung mga bits of information through media, through politics, through, like, in sa lahat. Kaya parang, kaya nakakabuo sila ng sarili nilang perception. 'Di
Yes.
ba? Ako, nung nasa Philippines ako, or kahit nung nandito din ako, may mga movies ako napanood. Like, for example, Pineapple Express. And yung mga iba pang mga movies na, ewan ko, nandun pa nga si Davon Sao, hindi ko alam kung anong movie yun. Idle Hands.
Yes,
You
yes.
know?
Yes.
Yes, Idle Hands. He is a, cannabis user, pero may hika siya. Alam mo yun, yung mga ganun ba? So, marami kasi talaga ito sa ako, naisip ko, okay, siguro ganun nga yung itsura nun. Pero not until when I'm actually with my friends
Yes, yes.
and we're actually doing art together.
Mm.
And alam mo yung during day job, nag-uusap kami ng matino. Doon ako na parang, wait lang, parang ganito pala yung totoo.
Yes.
So,
And
mhm.
in all honesty rin naman, since nung time na mas bata, of course, bata pa kasi ako nag-start ng use ng
Mm.
cannabis. Natutunan ko din yung responsibility along the way. You know, like with, let's say, with alcohol, naranasan ko rin sa cannabis yung nasusobrahan ako,
Mhm.
irresponsible rin yung paggamit ko, and I also saw how it affected my surroundings and my life when I'm irresponsible, 'di ba? So, throughout my growing years, of course, ngayon naggo-grow pa rin, but maturity will come na ikaw na mismo, you know how to control yourself. Self-control is important, lalo na depende sa sitwasyon na hinaharap mo, 'di ba?
Mm.
If you need to show up your best, of course, hindi tayo magbi-binge 'di ba? Like super red eyes, 'di ba? If you're gonna show up and talk to your boss about something that's important, you don't show up there smoking like cannabis with red eyes, 'di ba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng maturity and responsibility din. Or like if you meet your in-laws, like ayaw mo naman na parang you're not in you get what I mean? It takes
Yeah,
also
you're not present.
yes.
Social context.
Exactly. You need to be
Yes.
considerate of your surroundings too rin naman. Be responsible din. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ikaw, Sky, ano yun sa'yo?
And as we age, we do know kasi pwede ka naman talaga masobrahan. Sometimes if you intake too much cannabis, may mga times na nagkaka-anxiety ka. Instead of improving your anxiety, it increases your anxiety.
Especially if
Or
it's a strain din, 'di ba? Sometimes
yeah, yeah. So pwede ka ring masobrahan in a sense. That's why you also learn like what's the best time of day. You
exact
know,
yeah.
what is the strain that is correct? Like which strain is it, daytime or nighttime? It and for me, I'm switching. I'm weaning off caffeine. Like I
Yeah,
just want to share. Caffeine is such a big part of my life, but like any drug, it's a stimulant,
definitely.
and I want to be more natural. I think I've mentioned that a few times that I really want to go back to being natural. So I'm weaning off caffeine, and but so far so good. So I've changed my routine a little bit. so
Yeah.
so I try to smoke now early morning at around, and then see how it goes with my workout and see how sober I am when I get to work. Parang I'm still
Yeah.
learning how to integrate it into my life.
Mm.
But prior to this whole morning thing, I pag weekends talaga, I enjoy. It's nice to relax with friends, especially like when Jules and I get together, we smoke together. It's just
Mm-hmm.
a fun way to enjoy friendship.
It's
You
part
know,
of our social gathering na
yeah,
na may mga gumagamit talaga ng cannabis and wala namang nagiging bayolente so far sa surroundings ko with my friends, you know what I mean, who are cannabis users. But I can't deny na baka nga meron out there na cannabis user na violente, but I don't think it's the weed's fault. It's like
yes,
it's na kumbaga parang nag-usap nga kami ni Ryan, the Filipino cannabis guy, when I was in LA nung weekend. Parang yung pencil, hindi naman kasalanan ng pencil kung ano yung sinulat niya, eh. It's the pen holder, right? So,
that's right.
same thing sa marijuana. And nakaka-frustrate lang talaga yung mga ibang stereotypes kasi it's so ano, parang are you choosing to be ignorant because there are also informations out there for you to see, 'di ba 2021 na tayo, yung mga gano'n. But at the same time naman, cannabis kasi I've seen it talaga na it's part of the lives of people here na can I share something pala? 'Cause
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when I was going live, um, with, I think that was with Kuya Ed, someone said na parang okey lang na nagma-marijuana kayo pero wag niyong araw-arawin, may gano'n na parang para sa'kin, I don't think this person also understands na if meron ngang taong nag-aaraw-araw nun, I mean you how parang who are you to judge na hindi niyo talaga kailangan yun? In a sense na maybe that person really faces a lot of stress araw-araw. And weed is such a stress reliever talaga, proven yun. And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, hindi mo rin alam kung meron bang problema sa katawan yung tao na may chronic back pain ba siya, does he
Yeah.
feel like or she feels like fatigue every day and all that. And yung tao na yun gumagamit ng cannabis araw-araw to address those issues, and there's nothing wrong about it. Kaya parang medyo na-off lang ako dun sa nagsabi na, "Wag niyong araw-arawin." Like, who are you to say what will work for this person as a daily supplemental medicine or something,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the medical and then there's recreational come
Yeah,
into play.
yeah, exactly.
So yun nga, yung mga daily routines, that's for their mental health or for their anxiety, for their insomnia, yung pang everyday, yun, parang medicine na nila yun. Instead of taking sleeping pills or,
Yeah.
anti-anxiety pills, they choose something more natural. That's their medicine. They've
Yes,
chosen a natural
oo.
way to medicate themselves. And on the other hand, yung recreational, siguro yun yung ibig sabihin na dahan-dahan
Oo,
lang.
dahan-dahan lang. Parang na-stuck siguro siya sa point of view na parang pang-bisyo lang 'yan. You
Yeah.
get what I mean? But hindi siya may other aspect nga siya which is medicinal, and yun yung also na pinapa-realize natin sa mga tao. And yeah, I guess kailangan rin talaga nilang ma-open sa idea na cannabis is medicine to begin
Yeah.
with. Yes.
I guess yung parang gusto natin iparating like to our viewers is that let's not judge people when we see one who is actually using who is using marijuana or like whatever type it is, kasi you don't know what they're going through. And you don't know what kind of medical attention they need.
It's
Mhm.
true.
And parang it's not of your business. It's not as if like you're paying for their bills, or if you're you
True.
know, wala kang pakialam. And at the end of the day, mind your own business. Yun lang kasi yung parang pet peeve ko na, ano ba? Parang,
Medyo nasa kultura pa naman tayo ng Pilipino, mga 'di ba, like mga tsismis, ganyan. So, parang
mm,
yeah, pero tama ka talaga, totoo. At the end of it, nasa tao rin yung kung
Mhm.
parang nangingialam ka na ba masyado kasi
mm,
it doesn't concern you really, parang gano'n.
So
yeah,
yeah, so I think education is key. And at in this day and age, I believe that education should start in the home environment. Like sa
mm,
parents, dapat natin natutunan yung tama o mali, ano
Yeah,
yung dapat gawin or dapat hindi. Drugs, sex, the birds and the bees, it
yeah,
should come from the home setting.
yeah,
So
totoo.
we
oo,
have to really educate our young ones
yeah,
on how this is evolving and the society and all these things. Ikaw, Julie, as a mom, how do you go around this within your home? How do you educate your family?
Well, we really talk to our son, and we tell him the medical benefits that cannabis is giving us. Also in a sense na ano ba yung like alternative na kung hindi kami magka-cannabis, ano yung alternative ways pa, you know what I mean? Tapos dun niya maintindihan na kung pills lang na sobrang grabe yung chemicals na masama pa sa liver mo, ikukumpara mo na nagagamot naman ng cannabis na very organic, healthy, walang inaapektuhan ng liver or na organs mo na iba, 'di ba? So, dun pa lang parang common sense. We make our son understand talaga cannabis na he will really understand that kahit simple lang yung gamitin naming words kasi common sense siya na, "Anak, halaman." Na nakikita niya, "Anak, halaman 'to." 'Di ba? So, paano nga naman yung anak ko, "Oo nga naman." At saka nakikita niya yung epekto. For example, siya na mismo nagsasabi na parang 'cause I made him see this news sa Philippines na binalita nila
mm,
sa Tarlac may nahuli silang mga blocks ng marijuana. And then on that report, someone was saying na, "Uy, cannabis na magha-hallucinate ka diyan, makakapatay ka ng magulang mo ata o makaka-rape ka pa ng kapatid mo." Parang gano'n, makakapatay at makaka-rape ka ng kapamilya mo, in short yung sinasabi nila, yung 'pag nag-hallucinate ka daw sa cannabis. And I made my son see that news and I was like, "Anak, what can you say about this?" And then he said na, "What? How can that happen? Actually, you and dad are much nicer, funnier, and like you're easy to talk with after you use cannabis." So I think that's just not right. Coming from my son who's, parang bata pa siya pero nakikita niya kasi talaga na nakakatulong ito, hindi ito masama para i-demonize ng gano'n. Sabi
mm.
ni Rain Slapshot, show natin kasi may question siya which is good. May side effect po ba ang pag-smoke ng weed? I mean yung usok or epekto po ba ito sa utak? Sky, what can you say about that?
Secondhand. So it's like you're asking about
Ang pag-smoke,
secondhand smoke.
yeah. Well, I'll start with that by saying na it gives us yung cannabinoid. Kasi
Mhm.
naturally naman may cannabinoid na tayo sa system natin. Pero na-enhance niya pa yung cannabinoid natin when we smoke weed. And yun yung cannabinoid yung talagang relaxation feeling. So yung side effects niya, of course, when you smoke it, nati-trigger niya yun and mas nare-relax ka nga.
Mhm.
Tapos yung second question niya, I mean yung usok or may epekto ba ito sa utak? Yun lang talaga. Pero yung sinasabi mo like for example, they say na yung cocaine, meth, and other Scheduled One drugs, they fry your brain, right? That's what they usually say. Those chemicals fry.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen with weed naman. Like, ano pa lang newly open pa lang yung weed. So, inaaral nila yan also in that sense. But in reality, nasa dami ng gumagamit ng marijuana sa napakatagal-tagal-tagal na.
Mm,
Wala pa siyang clinical trial ay yung study na precise kasi ongoing pa rin yung mga studies na ganyan, if it affects daw ganyan the brain. But in all honesty, yung titingnan mo yung mga gumagamit nito for years and years and years and years. Personally, I would say na hindi naman sila it doesn't cause them mental illness.
Yes. But cannabis has psycho
Psycho
psychoactive
psychoactive, yes,
psychoactive component.
yes,
So at some point, that's why when you do smoke, sometimes you're a little uncoordinated.
yes,
You perceive information a little bit slower, or may mga effects like you're so relaxed, your muscles are
oo.
very
Sa mobility parang minsan
mobility.
yeah. So minsan
So,
'pag nasobrahan ka, don't try.
indirectly, yes, may effect talaga siya sa utak in a sense kasi nga
Oo.
it has this psychoactive
Yes, yung THC
components.
naman, yes.
Yeah, yung THC. So in a
Mm.
short answer, yes, there is an effect on your brain
It
function.
also depends on the dosage. So make sure
Yeah.
that you have to be responsible with your dosage use. Kasi for example, kung kakain ka ng edibles na talagang mas, 'di ba, mas na-emphasize pa dun yung amats talaga,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna do something, of course, parang, yeah, short term versus long term, yun yung sinasabi ni Jonas, and I'm really trying to say that na, yun nga, there are different, short term and long term, yeah, effects
Mhm.
on that.
Yeah. So, for example, one of the in context to that term of side effects. So, if you've been smoking weed for a long time, pag nag-stop ka, may side effects ba? That's also another thing that's also
Mm,
worth
To
mentioning.
think about.
yes,
Yeah, but in all honesty, when we travel, syempre hindi naman lahat ng occasions pwede mag-smoke. So there are days wherein we don't smoke for a day or two, and we're okay. Maybe we're a little bit on each other's necks.
Ba't mabilis
Like I see na, okay, medyo may ting ulo na. Okay, I'll back off a little bit. Pero I mean, in terms of daily living, it's not impacted in any way or shape or form.
yes,
But it does helps with personal productivity. I would say, like I said, it's a person to person
Case to case
basis,
basis.
yes.
it's a case to case basis.
Mhm. Is there any more questions?
Sabi ni si Lisa,
Jonas.
sabi na siya, "Watching you ladies." Hi, Lisa!
Hi,
I was
Lisa.
with her nung weekend. And then we were also talking about cannabis during the weekend because she's advocating also for medical cannabis in the Philippines. Taga LA naman siya. Hi!
Mm.
But
Okay.
good point. Very good question din naman talaga yon. That's a very good question kasi may mga tao rin na parang mainitin na talaga yung ulo nila. Tapos 'pag nag-cannabis sila, it kinda helps them, calm their
Calm
emotions.
down a little bit.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Tapos 'pag nawala ulit yung cannabis, mainitin ulit ulit nila. Ironic din, 'di ba? Pero para sa'kin maganda rin na with or without cannabis, practice mo rin. I'm talking to myself too, 'di ba? I-practice rin natin overall yung discipline sa
Gradual
sarili
na.
natin. Yes.
Stress
So,
management.
Yeah.
yeah, parang coffee lang rin yan. Kasi ako, I love coffee. And parang ano lang din naman yan eh. Pag di ako nakainom ng coffee tuloy, ng coffee
Okay lang.
ng isang araw or like 2 days,
Yeah.
ang sakit ng ulo ko niyan.
Oo.
Hindi ako makaka-function yan. So, I guess yung sinasabi natin, I guess what we're actually talking about right now is like side effects. Hindi lang naman, wag tayo masyadong mag-focus kung ano yung side effects ng cannabis. Lahat ng ini-intake natin sa katawan natin, may side effects yun.
Tama.
Pero, it is up to us na paano yung consumption natin. So,
Exactly.
self-discipline is the key.
Yes.
You need to know yourself.
Yes,
Like,
oo. Kumbaga, ang huli nun, kilalanin mo rin muna
Yeah.
yung sarili mo, i-discipline mo rin yung
Oo.
sarili mo. By the way, may in-add on pala si Rain. Sabi niya, kasi my friend siya na tinatanong ko siya, when he smokes weed, he feels hungry most of the time and he feels sleepy too. And sometimes he would just sit on one side and and be calm,
And
something like
and
that.
Sounds
So,
like a
calm
good
out.
trip.
yeah, ano yan, yun yung relaxation na feeling nga rin. Totoo yan na may ganang pakiramdam din. Actually, dito sa America, if you're also going to a dispensary and you're gonna buy your weed, papakita nila sa'yo kung ano yung ano yung most likely magiging effect nito sa'yo if it's gonna calm you down, if it's gonna hype you up or something like that, 'di ba? So same thing yung sa munchies, normal yan kasi parang yung palate natin, yung sa tongue natin, yung taste natin, mas na-e-enhance niya when you smoke kasi it kinda enhances what you feel at the moment too. You get what I mean? So, yun na kaya parang ang sarap kumain nga in a way, but it all boils down to your self-discipline din, 'di ba? Tapos,
Mhm.
yun, feel sleepy, part rin yan. Maraming gumagamit dito ng cannabis for
Sleep.
sleeping talaga. They instead na mag-sleeping pills sila, you know,
Yeah.
they use cannabis instead to help them fall asleep. So, okay yung mga high in THC na cannabis for sleeping, di ba? It will
Mhm.
knock you
For
out.
yeah, for indica. So you would rather smoke an indica at night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, ako gusto ko yun. Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
love
And then you
smoking indica at
smoke,
night.
if you want to be awake and be functional, and instead of, picking up coffee, I would pick up like a sativa, which will really perk me up for the day.
Yeah.
So, it takes some science into it, a little research
Oo.
about what you're
Alam
smoking, the
dapat alam mo din
strain.
kasi yung tini-take mo, lalo na
Yeah.
dito kasi medyo dahil sa
Open
dispensaries
dito
and
eh.
sa quality
Oo.
control and chine-check nila yung mga levels talaga ng THC, CBD, isasabi talaga dun kung ano yung magiging effect nito sa'yo or kaya alam namin minsan kung ano yung bibilhin namin. But at the same time, yun nga na dapat alam mo yung
Yeah.
ginagamit mo at kasi for example, I remember we had this conversation nung sa live ko ni Kuya Ed na yung
Mm.
kasi sabi ko, I love indica, I love feeling relaxed. Sabi niya, but when I do chores, have I ever tried yung sa sativa nga? Sabi ko, yeah, sativa, yeah, I do sativa when I do chores. But have you ever tried doing your chores when you're doing
Indica.
indica? When you smoke indica? So sabi ko, yeah, it's just that I'm just so relaxed that sometimes I'd be like, okay, I'll do that in like 5 minutes. Ganyan. You know, parang mas relax siya. It takes me a while and then, but at the same time, I still do it because may responsibility ako para,
Mhm.
you get what I mean? I'm a
Yeah.
responsible person in that sense, yeah.
But for me, it's always
Mhm.
a hit or miss. Sometimes I take indica, but I'm so focused on,
Di ba may
the
ganon?
thing is, it shuts off other voices and other noise in my head to let me focus. So it's a case to case basis.
It helps
And
you
I
meditate.
look at strains more. Like, there are
Mm.
certain strains that I am more, I choose these strains because they're more, they help me become productive, or it's a trial and error as well. So yeah, and so when we moved to California, there's more, weed became more accessible. We have a few
Mm.
dispensaries here in town, and you can see the quality of what you smoke. And tama talaga, Julie, na you really have to know what you're smoking. Like, it should be
Oo.
good quality. If you have a friend who your plug, you got, I know you have some people where you get your weed from, but you gotta know
Oo,
what
kasi
you're
hindi mo rin
smoking,
alam kung
okay?
may insecticide
Yeah,
ba 'to, kasi
yeah,
'di
may
ba?
pesticide and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, just know what you're putting in your body. Kasi pupunta yan sa baga mo. So, you have to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
really
Sabi pala
mindful of
ni
that.
Rain, I like what he's saying too kasi it kinda transfers to the medical benefits of cannabis. For me, parang masarap subukan kasi sa mga nakikita kong effects niya is for good health benefits eh. Yeah, that's true
Yeah.
also. Like, dito nga sa America, or last Saturday napag-usapan nga namin na yung mga gyms, meron ng gym na may cannabis. So, sinasama na
Mhm.
talaga ang cannabis sa health, the fitness lifestyle, and wellness lifestyle. May yoga
Mhm.
and cannabis na
Yeah.
rin dito. So, part na talaga
Tsaka
siya. Even restaurants sa mga food, healthy food nila,
yeah.
vegan
And
tapos
tsaka hindi tsaka sorry Julie to
go
cut
ahead,
you
no,
off.
go ahead.
Pero to add on that, they don't strategically put where they would place their businesses. Hindi siya yung parang outlet store sa Amerika na, oh, nandito yung mall. So there is like a certain proximity where outlet stores could be reached. Kasi syempre, business and strategic use. Whereas with dispensaries and with yoga places and gym, actually meron ako nakita dito sa downtown. And nasa financial district siya. And it's a yoga place. Tapos nakalagay talaga doon na they use cannabis while they do yoga.
Mhm.
So my point is that mas natatanggap na siya ng society and there's movement to
Mhm.
it. Kasi maraming naka-experience, maraming nakikita yung mga tao and nagiging aware na rin yung tao at the same
Yes,
time. Yeah. Yeah, okay
totoo.
naman.
And
Mm-mm.
ang ganda nga tingnan nga na na-emphasize talaga yung wellness kasi even before naman ginagamit na ang cannabis for herbal medication, eh, ng mga kahit yung mga indigenous tribes, 'di ba, natives, kasama na sa Hindus, yung sa mga, ang dami ng part talaga 'to ng ano nila, herbal medication din. So yeah, true. Instead of you consuming chemical
Yeah.
pills that
Yeah.
parang never ending yan, eh, "'Tong pill na 'to may side effect, nasisira 'to, ito naman para
Mhm.
mag-compensate bigyan pa kita ng isa pang pill," 'di ba? Tas parang gano'n. So instead of that
Mm-hmm.
na harming you in a sense, nag-switch sila sa cannabis kasi
Yeah.
it heals them without those ugly ano, side effects na nasisira talaga yung
Mhm.
organs nila. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yung
may
liver.
good health benefits talaga ang cannabis. Tama ka diyan, Rain.
And I think it also helps, I think it helps domestic life.
Yeah.
Buhay-bahay. I mean, right now we're on lockdown. We really don't do much. We're at home most of the day. We're with our partners, and yeah, I mean, the my smoking buddy is my husband, and he's the one, it's
Mm,
it's nice to have somebody who shares the same passions as you, who,
that's
you guys smoke together, you're both happy together, you're both, relaxed together, you both have unending conversations, na very open conversations about wherever life takes you, and it's such a nice reprieve for me, and I would say in my relationship with my friends as well. You're when you're more relaxed, you're more open, you're able to communicate better in a social
yeah.
setting. So ikaw Pao, since would you agree, or how would you feel if your partner would be a stoner as well, or someone who consumes cannabis? How would your feelings be towards that?
Oh, it's funny that you touch on that kasi next episode.
About dating, yes,
That will
next
be,
episode.
yeah, but it's very important to know these things. Like, you have to know
Yeah.
your partner, di ba?
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm gonna be honest. First, meron akong hika. I have asthma. I'm very asthmatic. Na-develop yung asthma ko when I was young kasi second-hand smoke. Kasi yung dad ko nagsismoke ng cigarettes. So, sa bahay, sa kotse, nalanghap ko lahat ng
Mhm.
hangin. So, when I was young, talagang meron na akong weak lungs. So, kapag kapag sa future partner ko, I don't actually mind thinking about it kasi may mga different devices and different way of using cannabis, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi yung unang experience ko sa friends ko is yung talagang, anong tawag mo din yung
You're
rinorolyo ba yun?
rolling up, yeah,
Yeah,
joint or a
Yo,
blunt.
yon,
but
yes, that one. So, yon kapag sinmoke nila yun, talagang grabe sa usok.
yeah, like this.
Pero,
Actually, ito, pipe, like may pipe. May usok talaga 'to, maamoy mo
oo.
talaga or a joint
Uh,
or,
mhm,
yeah.
yeah. Tapos one time, si Julie, na mangha ako doon sa kanyang device. Sabi
Kasi
ko,
may
Julie,
vaporizer.
oo,
Mhm.
yon. Sabi ko, oh, that's nice. Tapos meron pang edibles.
Mm,
So, since maraming options, I would lay down all my cards on the table like, hey, I like you, mutual yung feelings natin. So, ito yung, ito yung sitwasyon ko. I have asthma. So, if we are going to live together in one spot, um, dun ka sa area mo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go to your
During
room.
having cannabis
Oo.
moment, and then,
Dun ka sa area mo. And then, like, may mga, I would say na, but
compromise.
I won't, magko-compromise ako. If I'm really in love with this person, then yes, magko-compromise ako. If we are both on the same page, if he respects me, and I also would respect him. And may mutual understanding kami na, okay, si Pao may hika, I have to be considerate on that. Okay, si Pao, yung mommy niya may hika, then I have to be considerate on that. In
Yeah.
fact, asthmatic ang family ko.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So during family time, medyo wag na muna. Pag nakauwi na ng bahay, dun ka sa, sa spot mo.
Respect lang din
So,
naman kasi, totoo.
yeah. And even sa akin, like if
Totoo.
I'm doing my acting stuff, I would have my own spot in the house, 'di ba?
Yes. Oo.
So, yun lang naman. As long as there is transparency, and then okay,
Mm-mm.
let's get married.
Ay, tara na.
there. So I really appreciate, Pao, that you actually mentioned na different types of taking cannabis, because it's true.
Oh,
Like for me, I rarely smoke flowers. Yun yung weed. Yun yung tawag, flowers. So yung ginagrind, yung ganon, and we roll it up in paper. We only smoke that for special occasions like Christmas. We make it into a canagar, or we smoke it on the weekends. It's not like a daily thing for us because it's just a big
ah,
hassle. Like, medyo hassle siya kasi lalabas ka pa.
gano'n.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mag-roll ka pa. Yung fine motor skills ka pa naman, hindi ganun kaganda. So,
Si Jonas expert naman. So,
yeah, so I have an expert there. So, it takes a while. So what I consume every day on most days is concentrate siya ng cannabis. So you
Mm,
extract so from the
dab.
flower, from the weed itself, you extract it into an oil form or a concentrate form. There's a lot of kinds of extraction and a lot of kinds of concentrates, but we prefer concentrates because it's just more accessible, I guess. You can do it indoors. And
mm.
when you exhale vapor,
It
and
doesn't smell yung
yeah, so it doesn't smell, and it's
burning.
for me it's better on the throat and the lungs. Hindi kasi minsan yung weed pag smoke mo talaga from the flower.
Carcinogen kasi it's still burning the
Oo, it's
branches
burning,
and
exactly, and it's not
Oh.
fit for everybody. So if you have asthma or weak lungs, I would suggest
yes,
you know
vaporizer.
look, maybe that's not for you, but but there's other
Kaya,
forms of vapor. Yun
kaya
nga,
pala
very very.
nauubo sila. Kapag yung one time, kasi minsan nauubo sila eh.
Yeah,
Actually,
Dahil dun
medyo
sa
harsh din. Kaya nga you have to put
depende.
what you call this? Uh,
Filter?
filter. A very good filter in the end para hindi ganun ka-harsh. And it
Pero
also boils
yung
down to the
sa
weed.
pag-ubo naman, yung
Yeah.
sinasabi ni Paula, because actually proven yung marijuana vapor to be a bronchodilator. Bronchodilator meaning it expands the wall of your lungs. So it actually helps sa asthma. O nga, kung may asthma, isang studies yon na ang marijuana helps with asthma because it acts as a marijuana vapor.
Mm-hmm.
Because it acts as a bronchodilator. It expands the lungs. That's why with Miguel, he only has one lung. The marijuana vapor, that's why he's using yung talagang vaporizer na alam niyang walang carcinogen na papasok sa kanya. Because it also helps with his one lung. It acts as a bronchodilator for his one lung. Mauubo ka nga in a sense na minsan pag nauubo tayo. But once na you recover from that coughing, yung choke na feeling minsan din, once you recover from that, kung mapapansin nyo na when you take deep breaths, parang you can take deeper breaths after that. Kasi it does act as a bronchodilator somehow. The marijuana vapor.
Yeah. Pero I think our goal is not to cough.
Yes,
That's the
yes,
goal.
yes.
So it also depends on, for example, temperature plays a role. the
Yeah.
kind of weed you smoke plays a role. There's a lot of factors, and there's also techniques on how to inhale it, I guess, which,
That's true. Like
you
later
know,
on, you'll realize na may technique on how to inhale na hindi ka
yeah,
talaga machuchok ng parang super loud or mas may better control ka for it. Mas alam mo kung ano yung hihit-hitin mo lang next time, ganyan. Yeah.
Oh. Di ko alam
so
yun na kailangan pala ng temperature.
yes, maybe yeah. So
Oo.
Jonas is actually heating me a rig for his.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dab.
so
Mag-dab ka.
we'll be
Oo.
so I received the rig this weekend for as my first glass. So I'm very
Wow,
excited.
nice. Oh, color pink.
It's
Right? I
purple,
saw.
parang pink
Fish
magenta.
pink. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a gift, which is my first glass. So it's exciting. So when we have a little station there, his and her station, it's so nice to see like side by side.
Yes, yes.
Ang cute.
Yeah. So you see in a second why
Mm.
temperature plays a role.
Yes.
Ah,
Yan.
sige.
Kasi may timer pa yan.
The
Yes,
timer, yeah.
totoo. So,
Anywho, so yeah, so going back to different ways to consume, right? So
yeah.
of course
Mhm.
when you're outdoors, you can do the flowers and stuff like that. We also have to respect the rules. If there's no smoking indoors, then just don't smoke indoors. We have to, there when we were in San Diego one time, and we saw a little sign in the park.
Mm.
It was a cannabis leaf that was May X. So I
Oh.
guess a lot of people smoke cannabis in that park.
Mm-mm.
So bawal na.
Bawal na muna.
Yeah,
Kasi
pero
baka may mga kids
imagine,
eh.
we're in
Considering
that
na
Oo.
park siya. Yeah.
yeah, but we're in that society already where we actually have to have people put no smoking in this park, but it's the best place to smoke. So why? Pero nakakatawa lang na we're in the day and age na may sign na tayong ganon, like no smoking
Sa
cannabis
driving,
here.
di ba? Sky, pag nakikita mo na pag you're on the road and there's a sign like, for example, sa don't drink and drive, ganyan, DUI, ganyan.
Yeah.
Meron na rin sa smoke, parang may sign na rin sila for smoking na pertaining to DUI din, driving under influence. So,
Don't drive high, parang ganon.
Oo,
Parang
parang
ganon yata.
gano'n. Don't drive high or something. May
Mm.
sign na rin. Yeah.
So let me just take a dab here.
Ayun. Pakita
This
mo,
is
Sky,
this
yung
is my
bagong
new
fabric
rig.
niya.
Ay, parang genie in a bottle.
Oo, yeah.
Ayun.
Ako meron naman akong bong lang dito. Madumi yung bong ko, guys. So,
Ayun.
sabayan natin si Sky.
Ang fancy naman yan. Parang happy straws.
Yeah.
Ang
Ganda, Sky. Good job.
Thank you. So it's a recycler, so it's
Yeah.
it's really nice. So yun lang, share ko lang sa'yo. That's how we consume cannabis here at home. So we have a glass rig. It's called a rig, and then we kind of heat it up. Dun sa maliit na glass na yun, you heat it up. So that's why temperature is very important. So
Yeah.
may blowtorch kami.
Yeah.
Tapos we have a thermometer dun sa banner
Oo.
na yun. Tapos kung anong temperature mo. The lower it is, parang less ubo. Pero kung mainit, grabe talaga.
Kasi yung
What's
steam.
the temperature? Is
Oo.
20 degrees?
Yeah, siguro na-irritate din. Pero yun lang. So, that's why temperature also plays a role.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
Yeah. And I don't know, theory, I heard this somewhere, pero ang theory daw is pag nag-cough ka, parang mas
Sabi
nakaka-high
niya,
pa
tamaan
yata.
ka. Tamaan ka talaga pag
Yeah.
nag-choke ka.
So, ewan ko, narinig ko lang yun,
Parang ganun.
puro.
Well, actually, kahit personal experience, ibig sabihin na parami talaga, kaya talaga na-choke ka, di ba? In a sense, so,
Yeah.
talagang tama yung feeling mo. When
Hindi man lang cough, di ba? So, hinila ko ng, I just smoked and wala namang cough. So, it's all
Yeah.
about, the tools you use, the techniques. So, it has also a science to things to be able to really maximize your cannabis consumption.
Mm-mm.
So,
Tama
we've
yun.
gone a long way na.
Yeah. And ito, sabi ni Jonas pala, mayroon akong i-click dito na regarding cannabis use, sabi niya, great for intimate moments, sabi niya. Kasi,
Wink, wink.
oh, wink, di ba?
Wink, wink. Hindi ko naman na yun, pero totoo naman. I mean, I guess when you smoke, you're just in a relaxed state of
State,
mind. Mas relax
mind.
ka, mas focus ka sa ginagawa mo. So, for intimate moments, you're in the present. You're not with your partner thinking about your job, your problems, your financial, deficits. You're here and you're now. And I think that really helps with intimate moments.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
for me, that's how I would say it in a very 18 and a year old and
Yes,
below.
but can I say something about that? With regards
General
to
patronage.
yeah, 18 open. With regards but to stereotype then regarding cannabis naman, and I agree it helps you with your with feeling relaxed, and if you're with the person that you love, 'di ba? And
Mhm.
parang it just feels so light na yeah, I get that it's great for intimate moments. I understand that. Although common stereotype din kasi na yung iba iniisip nila because gumagamit ng cannabis yung babae na may kasama siyang lalaki, may mangyayari kaagad sa kanila. Regardless if they're in a relationship or not. 'Di ba
Feel na
parang
feel.
may ganung common stereotype
Yeah.
na hindi like nasa tao po 'yan, 'di ba? You
Mm.
cannot put that on the plant, hindi po gano'n. Like kasi very very like parang you know what I mean? Kasi merong tawag, basta may alak, may balak. You understand? So now
Mm.
they're putting that idea on cannabis too. Oy, yung cannabis may balak na. Like,
No.
no, it doesn't work that way. Normalize it in a sense that friends can do that together, and
Yeah.
there's no
Mhm.
malice about it. There's
That's
no
right.
balak about like after, di ba? Or something. Yeah. Yun lang naman, another stereotype.
Yeah. I mean,
Nakakalungkot lang na, alam mo yun, well, I guess hindi mo rin naman din maiiwasan kung gano'n ang opinions or ng perspective ng mga iba tao. You don't control them. But it's just that, um, that's very immature.
Yes. I agree.
That's
Yeah.
very immature, and it's reflecting how you are living your life and what kind of information that you just focus
Yeah.
on.
mhm.
So if someone, ako ito lang naman opinion ko to, sarili kong opinion to. Someone who always think about malicious stuff like linking
Yes. Everything na lang na,
ideas, so lahat
oo.
na lang malicious. Ako, ang impression ko doon is parang, ay, may mali sa'yo.
Oh, yeah.
Parang,
Medyo toxic yung
hindi,
utak mo.
Misinformed. You're
oo,
misinformed.
parang,
Yeah.
yeah, parang, ano lang ba ang mga pinapanood mo? Ano lang ba ang mga binabasa mo? Sana, di ba, go out there, meet new people, try to, surround yourself with people who has actually different opinions than you. Hindi yung nandun ka lang sa perspective na yun. Kasi at the end, kasi pag tumanda ka, ikaw, nasa sayo rin yun. Ikaw rin yung pagtatawanan at the end of the day.
Oo, totoo naman din. Yeah.
Yun, wala. Opinion ko lang yun.
Yeah. Well, for sure, it can serve its purpose of being an aphrodisiac, okay, but it doesn't default na kung may dalawa kayo, mag-smoke kayo together, doon na ang
Yeah.
destiny niyo together, or doon na pupuntahan yun. I mean, that's just we have to break that stereotype,
Yes, totoo.
That's just it.
Can we say hi to the messages here? Let's start with
Sure.
Lawrence.
Sure.
Si Lawrence. Shout out mga idol.
Hello.
And then
Hi,
si Jane
Lawrence.
is here too. Let me see. Okay. I saw si Jane David. Jane, sabi niya, uy, single pala si Miss Paula. Sorry, Jane.
Maka-miss naman, no, ka-teacher. The joke lang. Hello, Jane.
Where can we find you, Miss Pao?
Yeah.
Secret.
No, okay. Secret. And then there's Lawrence. Wow, very informative, sabi niya. Thank you, Lawrence.
Tama.
Thank you. And then also Rain said, Sana masuporta po 'tong advocacy niyo for marijuana, especially in the Philippines. Yeah, we
Mhm.
hope so because it's really actually can I just share saglit lang na
Go.
now that I'm active with the movement talaga of cannabis, of pushing medical cannabis in the Philippines. May mga nagme-message talaga sa akin na siyempre hindi ko di-disclose yung name na yung anak nila may severe autism, tapos paano daw yung gusto nilang ma-try yung CBD, is there a way? Tapos tatanungin ko, nasa Pilipinas pala sila. Tapos parang wala daw silang mga kilala, hindi daw sila makakapunta sa ibang bansa to get it, 'di ba? Tapos alam mo yung like kung puwede lang umuwi ako do'n, dadalhin ko 'yun, kaso
Mhm.
kriminal na ako din, 'di ba? And I don't want that naman na mangyari sa'kin na gano'n. So,
Mm-hmm.
parang it's so heartbreaking kasi if they can only have safe and legal access to medical cannabis there in the Philippines right now, like ang daming matutulungan talaga, ang dami. Why can't we start helping people in that sense talaga na? But I understand there are other factors to consider, but it's just heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really pushing for it. Kahit na alam ko may mga balakid, ano ba 'yan?
Balakid,
Oo, basta 'yun
Blackade.
balakid. Ah,
obstacles.
kasi may kilala
Oo.
akong nagra-rap si Balakid. So, pero yun,
Oo.
so, kahit maraming obstacles, yes, yeah, kumbaga, yun gusto ko talaga yung puso ko talaga gusto ko talagang makatulong and, yun as much as possible, I want people to be aware. That's what we're trying to do here also for the advocacy. And, may isa pa palang nag-shoutout, si
Mm.
Jason Zurita. Hello, salamat, salamat sa'yo. And then si Greg Felix. He's also from California, right, Greg? Yeah.
Hi,
Peace.
Greg.
Uh, yes, thank you for tuning in. Yun lang naman. Sorry, ang dami
Yeah.
sinabi pa rin.
But like if we were going to start something in the Philippines, like how will we go about that? Where will we start? You
There's
know.
already a medical cannabis party list right now. It just started actually, and they're pushing for its elections 2022. So right now they need people to register. They do have a Facebook account already, medical cannabis party list. We also
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
posted that sa Alab Assembly. And yung mga registered voters sa Philippines, I urge them, kahit kumbaga it's not about cannabis users per se. Like we have to see the bigger picture na we can be a medical cannabis supporter because we understand the cost na marami talaga siyang matutulungan, you understand? So,
Mm-hmm.
merong link doon for them to register so that pasok yung party list for
Mhm.
elections 2022 and they can really start um, drafting the laws regarding yung mas
Mm,
push na talaga, magsimulan ng ma-open yung
okay.
medical cannabis for
Oh,
legal
Mm-hmm.
and safe access, yes.
so the best thing we can do is really register and vote in May 2022.
Yes, and please spread the word. Like you talk to your close-minded family members, friends, like at least kasi may naman siya common sense naman talaga if you approach it in that sense na pakita mo talaga yung natural, simplistic. It's a
Mm-hmm.
plant, and then
Mhm.
the benefits which is out there, personal testimonies which are out there, the studies backing it up. Kaya naglegal na
Mm-hmm.
yung mga states dito ng mga bansa, buong Canada. Canada's legal since earlier than US, right? So, yung gano'n. They can
Yeah.
study yung naging benefits din nun overall nung na-legal sa mga areas na yun. Then they'll understand talaga the cost that we're pushing for.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and Virginia, a
Yeah.
state in the East Coast that's very conservative, they're just skipping medical cannabis. They're just going to recreational. So by July 1
Oh,
of this
nice,
year,
Virginia.
Virginia is now
Yeah.
recreational.
Kasi
So I'm like,
usually talaga first step, 'di ba, is they
it's
do medical.
medical.
But
And then
Virginia's like, "Nahuli na kami. Okay, next
so
na."
sobrang nagulat
Galing,
talaga
eh.
ako. I'm like, wow, Virginia, like you're just gonna ride the whole cannabis industry.
Oo.
But like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I mean, times are really changing, and it's kind of exciting where this will go. But we have to be here to really educate and advocate for personal growth That's why
Yeah.
this is a growth podcast for us to
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
grow and learn together and experience life to its fullest.
That's
Mm-hmm.
true. Yes. By the
Yeah.
way, there's someone who, hindi ko mapa-pronounce yung name mo, sorry. But shout out, watching from Kingston, Jamaica. Oh, nice.
Hi.
Hi. And then si Daryl Bautista is also here for shout out. Yes, hi Daryl.
Shout out.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Yes,
Do you have any
Thank you.
questions?
yes.
Any?
Sabi ni
Anymore?
John.
Let's see.
Question so far, there's... Oo nga, kung may tanong kayo, type nyo lang. John Dar, good morning. Solid na pag-breakfast ko. Wait lang. May tumatawag. Pero i-cancel ko.
Okay.
So,
That's
Let's
right.
see.
Kasi morning pa, 10 a.m. pa lang
yes, good
sa
morning. Oo
Philippines.
nga
Good
pala,
morning,
Philippines. Good
Philippines.
morning. Dumiretso na kami kaagad sa topic namin. Nakalimutan ko atang mag-good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
More? Oh,
Thank
meron isa
you.
pa. Oh. Si
Yes.
Takdol
Si
or
Takbo. Si
Alfonso.
Fonsian, yes. Shout out to Julie Sky. Taga Bay
Hello.
Area yan. He's
Hello.
actually, we call him DJ Fons. Nagdi-DJ siya. So,
Ah, DJ siya.
yeah. Hi, Fons.
Hi.
Anyway, alrighty. So kung wala
So,
na
may mga, do you guys have any more questions? Type lang kayo.
Yeah.
But can I just add one really quick, just one comment? So earlier this was mentioned yung cannabis versus yung traditional drug na ini-intake natin whenever we feel pain. Actually, recently ko napapansin na there are doctors who are encouraging deprescribing de-prescribing drugs and having like a full-on communication with their patients to actually sit down and let's talk about what type of medicines you're using. And I'm mentioning this kasi sa palliative care, well, we could also discuss this to another episode, but the point I'm making is that um, common sense naman talaga, tulad ng sinabi ni Julie, na if you are ingesting drugs that could potentially harm your organs, why can't we not just switch or use something that is more natural in a very simple form na talagang nilalagay siya sa hindi ko alam paano mag-alaga ng isang plant, pero
Yeah.
nakikita naman natin,
Yeah.
'di ba, na very natural yung ano niya, galing siya sa nature.
Mhm.
So, yun lang sana yung sana matignan natin yun in a very simplistic way. And ma-appreciate natin lahat ng mga sinasabi ng tao, whether it opposes to your opinion or if it aligns with your opinion, then that's good, that's win-win. But at the same time, ito na yung time na magkaroon tayo ng transparency and have like a very open, mindful conversation. So, yun lang
That's
naman yun.
So for me, I advocate for my patients. I always educate them. Sit down with your doctor and talk about your medications. For me, that's very important. Like they're
Mm-mm.
cognizant of all the side effects. They have to be, because a lot of the reasons why they're in the hospital is because of side effect of some drug. I mean,
Yeah.
diba? So parang sit down, and when the patients who do come and do admit that they do consume cannabis, I talk to them about it. I'm very open, very casual about it. So how
Mm.
often do you smoke? What's your favorite strain? I mean, what time of the day? Very casual. Do you use it for pain? And they just
Yeah.
tell me how their quality of life has improved
True.
because of it. And that for me is a success story. And I encourage them, if you have other friends who are your age, of course, elderly, if they're experiencing what you're experiencing and what benefits you have using cannabis, you share it to them.
Yes.
Tell
Mm-hmm.
them for their arthritis, they put CBD cream on it, to
Yeah.
reduce the pain and swelling. So tell your friends about it. Don't keep it inside. If you don't be ashamed of it, because
I
it,
know people nga na
diba?
ano rin, yung naging exit drug nga siya eh. Actually, cannabis, imbes na ano siya, gateway drug, it also is an exit drug. Exit
Yeah.
drug from those prescribed medications. ang daming antidepressants na hindi na nagamit ng mga pasyente dahil nag-switch na sila to cannabis.
Mhm.
And that's
Mm-mm.
actually a healthier option. So,
Mhm.
exit drug siya dun sa mga
Yeah. And
chemicals.
that's actually a good way of seeing it. It's an exit drug.
Yes.
Cause yeah, the thing is there's still so much stigma. There's still a lot of shame actually in it. There's a lot of, but like what will people think of me if they find out that I do smoke cannabis? That's also in the hindsight of their mindset, diba? Pero ako, parang, syempre, nakakahiya din. Parang I work in the hospital and, I have a good, decent job and then, diba, you come out
Yes.
like smoking
Mm-hmm.
cannabis. Like what will people think about me na? Diba? So
Mm-hmm.
we have to really break these cycles, break these frame of thoughts that we have in society regarding people who do consume cannabis. And for me, like everybody in California, everybody's just having a good time here in Cali, like enjoying.
Yeah.
Everybody's just
Yeah,
all here, like minding
that's
their own business.
true.
Just don't talk about how good or bad drivers are here in Cali. We're just, that might be the reason why as well. But you know what I'm saying? Let's just normalize. Let's just not really normalize, but let's just change the mindset
Yeah.
by educating ourselves and talking to people about it and then be open about it. It may not be for you, but it's for somebody else who
Mm-hmm.
may benefit in your friend list, right?
Kaya naramdaman mo na ba yung, alam mo yung you're worrying about something. So you have that worrying face, like you're worrying about something. But when you're on cannabis, the worries kind of go away.
Mm-hmm.
And you focus more on what you can control at that very moment. You understand what I mean? So,
Yeah.
kaya nga stress reliever. So imagine, I think pwede niya rin matulungan yung aging process. Ay,
Yes.
mas ano. Kasi di ba pag mas
Yeah.
mukhang stress, mas mukhang matanda. You can
That's
say
true.
that.
Oo.
So, yun yung point ko rin on that aspect. Ang dami niya natatap in na, no?
Yeah.
Health, fitness, wellness talaga, yung cannabis. Yeah.
That's true. Greg has a question here.
Question. Oo.
Can you mix cannabis with your prescription drugs? Um, this is a
But ano,
if like for example we all know that cannabis helps with nausea. Cannabis helps with some pain. So
yeah,
with
totoo.
prescription drugs, sometimes you have these side effects, yung mga
Mm.
nausea, yung mga headache, So when you take cannabis to help soothe side effects, like for example, cancer patients, chemotherapy is not fun. Okay, it's a very very hard process on the body, and some cancer patients look at cannabis to help relieve the side effects of chemotherapy. You can if you're taking prescription medications, it's always good to ask your doctor first. If you're for here,
Yeah, actually,
my doctor is well aware that I smoke
yes.
weed, so yeah, but
It's
you can
best to
still
ask your
experiment.
doctor. Kasi,
Yeah.
for example nga na, kunyari, you have a prescription pill that can help you with pain and sleep, you can definitely replace that with cannabis. And just don't do the pills anymore because baka naman sumobra naman yung effect sa'yo kasi baka yung
Dalawa
cannabis
na
is
yung ano
enough
na.
already to
Yeah,
relieve you and your sleep and 'di ba?
yeah. But
So,
yet
but
again,
in a sense
always
na
talk to your
depende yan sa
doctor.
sasabihin ng doktor mo. Sorry, kasi kasi
Yeah.
for example, paano kung may prescription drug yung cancer patient na blood thinner, hindi naman na-address ng cannabis yun. So, yeah, pwede niya pa rin gamitin yung blood thinner niya kasi hindi naman siya related sa
Cannabis.
paggamit or sa nagagawa ng cannabis sa kanya.
Mhm.
So, it's
So
really
yeah,
best to
it's
ask your
it's
doctor.
it's always good to talk to your primary care physician, your primary doctor. Um, the thing is continue take like I've mentioned this in the past, but if you're taking your medications, then good for you, and it works what it's supposed to do, then good for you. But if it's not, then go back to your doctor and reassess your medications. I'm not saying just go gung-ho and just stop all medications, because
Yeah.
they're given for a reason. But you can slowly integrate cannabis in your life and see how it goes, slowly, integrate, learn about it, read about it. All the information is out there. Read it in responsible websites, of course,
Mm.
and follow people who are very responsible with their information that they put out regarding this,
Mhm.
and do your own research, and take it slow and let us know. Are cannabis
Jonas.
users bad drivers?
Well, I think it depends on the person. Depende sa tama ng tao. May kilala ko, mas gusto niya nagda-drive ng stone siya, mas focus siya, mas yun ang gusto niya.
Mm.
Ako personally, mas ayoko. Like, ako lang yun, di ba?
Mhm.
Kasi feeling ko
Mhm.
masyado akong speeding ba ako? You know what I mean? So, but in a sense na, minsan naman na-enjoy ko rin, pero depende talaga. Like,
Yeah.
may time na parang mas mas gusto kong hindi ako stoned na
Mhm.
nagda-drive. Depende, may
Mm.
tao gusto nila stoned sila
Well,
mag-drive.
sometimes you have less road rage, I guess, if
Yeah.
kalmado ka. Hindi kayo
Ay,
parang
yes, that's true.
mura ka lang, mura
Kung
lang.
long drive naman 'no, tapos parang isang gano'n lang, masarap nga naman
Yeah,
yung
'di ba?
relax
Mhm.
kang nagda-drive
The
na gano'n.
Yeah. So you didn't, okay, let the pedestrians pass. Okay, mabagal si Lola tumawid. That's okay. Take your time, Lola. You're more, you're more present. You're hindi ganun kait yung ulo mo. So, you know. But bad drivers, I don't know. I guess it's a case to case basis, huh?
Yeah, case to case
Yeah.
basis. Sabi pala ni Greg, salamat sa info. You're welcome, Greg. 'Di ba musician ka din? Kasi musician tayo dito sa Bay Area, eh. 'Di ba? Tama ba? Yeah.
Okay.
Si
Okay.
VJ Escueta. Hi, hi. Salamat sa pag-tune in. Ayan.
All
Ikaw,
right.
Sky,
Okay.
if magda-drive ka, gusto mong stoned or hindi?
I think we just have to go back a little bit there. It's when I drive. If ever I
Wow,
go
yeah.
So yon, guilty po ako. Hatid sundo po ako ni Mister. So, sorry. Well, slowly, we'll get there.
Actually, si Greg kasi nakikita ko meron siyang postings na nagbebenta siya ng mga halaman, vegetables, correct? So, can you write it down so we can show it also if anyone is from the Bay watching, they can see your Facebook page. Kasi meron siya, nagbebenta siya ng mga vegetables and
Mhm.
like $5, nakakita ko na nasa cup. So, if you guys are interested, yeah, meron siya na. Yun lang. And, by the way, going back to growth advocacy, and we're trying to promote the overall wellness for everyone, di ba? Meron mga nagpa-pop up na mga community pantries sa Philippines. Ang dami-dami na, which is really good kasi nakakatulong talaga sila sa mga masang nagugutom na, like,
Mm.
kumbaga, yung maibibigay natin na, let's say, yung ₱200 or $20 dito, na parang wala lang sa atin, ang laking-laking tulong na sa kanila nun and marami na talagang napapakain na imbes na halos wala silang makuha na pagkain ngayon, thousands of community
Mhm.
pantries everywhere. And meron tayong ka-team sa Alab Assembly, si Christian, and his aunt actually put up a community pantry in Caloocan. And
Mm.
would like to share it lang to everyone so they can see also. Here we go. So it's Amparo Community Pantry, Caloocan. So I'm also gonna post this right after we go live. I'll post the flyer on our Facebook page. Yes,
Yeah.
Alab Assembly. So you'll see the details there. But there you go.
It's the
So
bayanihan spirit of.
yes, I know. And yes, Alab Assembly supports the community pantry movement in the Philippines. We really feel
Mm.
the community helping each other, showing compassion na nauuna talaga yung puso kaysa pagpopolitiko, in short.
Yeah.
That's beautiful in a sense na um, very selfless act. Yes.
Mhm.
Actually, nakita ko nga 'to sa news and na-touch ako na wow, kasi siyempre 'di ba, hello, yung iba maraming walang trabaho ngayon sa Philippines and since paano sila kakain, 'di ba? So these people who are actually donating food at naka-create sila ng ganitong very creative na paraan para makatulong.
Yeah.
talagang nakaka-proud na, oh, Filipino yan, Pilipino ako, mabait kami. Um, parang nakakatuwa lang na at nakaka-proud lang na ang Filipinos talaga natural na anong
Mabait.
Tagalog doon? Very generous.
Generous.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agree with
yung
that. Yes.
hospitality talagang nandoon talaga sa morals ng Filipinos, and
Mhm.
I'm really proud of this act of
Community.
service. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. May
Yes.
question pala si VJ. Paano ba 'pag sinabing maliligal ang marijuana sa Pilipinas for medical use purposes?
Ano ba sinabi?
Mali?
Pa,
What do you mean?
paano
Mali,
ba
legal?
pag
Maliligal o
sinabing
mali? Mali.
Maliligal ang marijuana sa
Paano ba maliligal?
legal.
Okay.
So yun. So first was the vote, right?
Yes. There's already a medical cannabis party list for elections 2022, and we need people to register there, especially the voters in the Philippines, to
Mhm.
register there kasi para may certain ano siya parang 'pag maraming nag-register, meaning maraming sumusuporta, pasok talaga yung party list for elections 2022. And then from makapasok yung party list dun na magsa-start talaga yung movement na tuloy na yung pag-open, may
Mhm.
magsa-start na yung mga steps for medical, uh, cannabis. Kasi yun ang yung movement na yun is showing the importance of safe and legal access. So,
Mhm.
mm,
for medical use of, medical cannabis. So, yun, please mag-register kayo. There's a Facebook page, Medical Cannabis Party List. We also post that on Alab Assembly. And actually, Ryan, the Filipino cannabis guy, and Kuya Ednis, they also support that movement. Pinost din nila yun dun sa yung link sa mga post nila so you can register. And I know it feels like some people would message me, sasabihin nila na parang yung info namin is this safe because private info namin
aha,
kailangan ilagay. Yes, safe po yun. So yeah, your privacy is safe on that site, and 'pag yung registration kasi talaga na yun para makapasok yung party list for elections 2022, and we do need
Mhm.
your support for that, and, yeah, yun lang naman.
mhm,
So,
Bumoto,
there's
bumoto.
also an option there if you're an overseas worker or, from the abroad, may, option dun na overseas.
Mhm.
Pero yeah, tuloy mo pa rin
Absentee votee.
kasi it will count as a support pa rin, yeah.
Yeah.
mm,
Which we should
Yes.
get on.
that's good
Yes.
to
Okay.
know. Yes. Okay. Is
So,
there anything
alright.
comments now?
Yeah,
So
mamaya
yeah.
ipo-post ko ulit yung flyer. Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies. So, nag-overtime na tayo. let's
Nice
wrap things up.
I know.
Okay.
Sabi,
So yeah. So hopefully moving forward, we can see people in a different light, be kinder to everybody. And because
mhm,
yun nga, sabi ni Pa, we can't judge where people are at in their lives, and we have to be more loving and more kind. And I hope that we all end up more more giving in this
Yeah.
day and age. So
mhm.
yeah.
Can
um
I just add for a short while? Because
mhm.
VJ is asking, ano po yung page ulit? Medical Cannabis Party List. Um, I'll post it again on dito sa Alab Assembly right after we go live. So
Yeah.
you'll see it. But actually, kung makikita mo yung recent post namin, nilalagay na namin yung registration link. It says the register here and there's this link. Just review our post. I think the
Yeah.
recent ones have those links also. And by the way, si Felix, yan yung ano niya, sa plant na for sales niya na vegetables. Seduction
Pangalan
Herbal.
ng
So, check it
Yeah.
ano
out.
niya.
Okay,
Yes.
there we go. So yeah, well,
Thank you, Greg.
this is the end of episode 4, right? 4.
Yes. Breaking the stereotype. So, guys,
Yes.
let's be more mindful. Magsariling sikap din tayo. Mag-research tayo. Alamin
Mhm.
talaga natin yung totoo. And wag tayong close-minded, you know. Huwag
Mhm.
tayong maging ignorante. Merong tamang
That's right.
information out there. Yes.
Yeah, and also day by day, wag kayong maging pressured sa lahat ng mga information na nakukuha nyo. And just small steps are very important. If you really want to have like like a better version of yourself, keep improving. And kapag may time kayo, reset your mind and talk to people, not just with people that you always talk to. Go out there, talk to
Yeah.
someone.
That's right.
Kaya, yeah. So, yun lang. Day by day, one step at a time, and you'll get there. We will all get there.
That's
So,
right.
Yes. Growth.
One day, magkakasama din tayo sa isang table, guys. One
Yes.
day.
oo nga.
All right. So catch us again next Saturday at 6 p.m. here in
California.
California time and 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yes, Sunday,
Habang
9 a.m.
nag-almusal kayo.
Philippines. Every
Mhm.
Sunday, 9 a.m. sa Philippines naman. Yes.
Yes. So, are
So we
we...
are.
Menage Trois.
Menage
We are
Trois.
Ménage
See you again.
Yes, we'll see you again next week. Thank you so much. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Ay, good
Good
morning.
evening
Kim.
and good
And good
morning.
morning.
Bye.